Alright, hello, welcome to the fourth part of my Welcome Battlefield series. In this video, we will be covering Recon. So again, Recon, their primary weapon is, they are the snipers. They are, snipers and scouts, really. So again, the primary weapon of the sniper is, of course, the sniper rifle. Now, snipers, I would say, are probably the most homogeneous of all weapons. It's actually kind of funny. So I run the one sniper that isn't bolt action. That's kind of, well, despite the name saying, it has equivalent damage, it actually doesn't. It's 3 shots to kill rather than 2 for your average sniper. Still a one-shot headshot, but, that. So again, when it comes to sniper rifles, this I would heavily say, when picking one out, pick the rifle that, has the, I mean, there are a few differences. Again, some of them, will have, range factor. Some of them will have, ammunition, stability, that kind of stuff. Actually, no, I think stability is all the same. So again, yeah, it really comes down to range. Either if you want a high range or a high capacity rifle. Also, I guess there's a Scout Elite in these now, which have lower damage. Now, I haven't really actually used them, but I never see people use them. And at least from what I know from campaign, the Scout Elite is a piece of crap. Despite that, and I've had pretty good luck. I actually use it as a starting rifle for so long, and it's, it's lower damage. It's not lower damage, lower range, and it's only 5 mag capacity, but it's still a very, very good weapon. I only just had swapped to the SV98, and I just very, very recently picked the SR338. And the only reason I picked that is because I really like DMRs. Before I went back to carbines with as engineer, I ran the RFB. The RFB is actually, today, I think, still my best gun, with 120 kills. Though the MTAR is coming up with, I think it's 100 now, 101. So again, yeah, find a weapon that, will kind of do what you need to. Actually, I probably should do a show you through a different one. So again, when it comes to, snipers can have any scope. So again, if you want to operate them at close range, you totally can. They're very, very versatile things, but at the same time, you can get up to 40 times scope. Now, granted, these 3 scopes are generally, you'll get one of these depending on the country of origin. So, U.S. weapons will give you the 8 times rifle, PKS for Russian, and then the CL6X for Chinese. And that's just, kind of, I would say, it'll come down to preference between picking the 3 of them, or really just, I would just use whatever you want. There's also Hunter, which you can get with, that's a battle pack item, and then Ballistic, which, well, I have never used Ballistic, because, one, I've never gotten the kills, and also, that's a freaking long range. People do it, and people can do it pretty well. So yeah, this is something where you'll generally want to be using everything. So again, if you're close range, canted iron sights, tack lights, that type of stuff, or that. I like variable zoom just because it's, not like I'm going to be using any of the other ones, and it can be very useful for kind of the more moderate range scopes, because then I really like my zoom. Also, rangefinders can be really, really useful, especially if you're going to be running a a hunter or a ballistic scope. Rangefinders can be very, very useful just to kind of zero in properly. Another way to zero in if you don't have a rangefinder is, especially because if you're generally going to be sniping towards a point, look at the point. You will be able to see how far away it is, and then you can adjust. And I would say that is probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I would have for early on snipers is don't try to adjust for range. Use the little button to adjust adjust range for you, because then it will save you a lot. This type of stuff, again, muzzle brakes, I don't really know why you need a muzzle brake as a sniper. You don't gonna have much recoil climb, especially on bolt actions where you're gonna have to go out and cycle unless you have straight pull. But flash hyders can be useful just because you don't get the reduced muzzle velocity you would from a suppressor. But again, that'd be my recommendation. Otherwise, if you really want to be quiet, you want to be hidden, and you're fine with that. Again, suppressors can be nice. Just if you're going to be operating from really long range, take that into account because your target may move. Auxiliaries. So these, I would say, always pick one. They can't hurt. Bipods are great early on. Straight pull, this is generally going to take a while to get, but straight pulls pretty much, they don't necessarily turn your bolt action to a semi-auto, but it makes it so normally with bolt action, you actually need to exit aiming down sights to cycle the bolt. You know, a straight pull, you can just, you know, it cycles it immediately. Actually, I'll kind of show you with all of that equipment and whatnot. Now, bipods otherwise, again, are very, very useful just because the stability factor when sniping, that smallest bit of sway in your sights, and especially at longer ranges, will mess you up a lot. And every shot counts. Like, you won't be the guy that fires a shot, misses, and then has to correct as the person's running away. So yeah. Now another thing with snipers is Recon gives you DMRs, stands for Designated Marksmanship Rifle. So these are semi-automatic, medium to long range weapons. Again, I love them. This is my RFB. I put so much on it. You know, heavy barrel. Might change that. But again, you know, I actually really like the 2x flare sight because I'll just kind of hide in the bushes and then just kind of peg people. A very, very good weapon. So again, DMRs are, you know, again, if you want that, if you don't want to be operating from long range but still want high damage and kind of that snipery, you know, feel, DMRs are good. Also, you can do that with any class. As I said, for the longest time, I ran engineer with a DMR just because I like to be kind of longer range. I wasn't really like to run into the battle. Not because also like I just wasn't very good at it. I have only since become alright with the MTAR, and that's just because I spray and pray with it. So again, enough about, you know, kind of the weaponry with it. On to the equipment. So again, kind of similar to Scout, Sniper, you can do a lot of different things with the equipment. You have two types of laser designators, which are the PLD, which I think you start with, or it's like one of the first things you unlock. You start with C4. I think you unlock the PLD pretty soon after. So again, you can run up to people and, you know, plant C4. You also can get claymores. Again, there are a lot of reconnaissance things. So, you know, motion sensors. There's a plant, which are French grenades that you throw, and they just will detect people for a little while. You have the tugs, which are just planted motion sensors. So great for you if you're holding point. You just put it by a door or something like that. Let you know. For the laser designation, again, you have the pro laser designator that you actually have to pull out and sight the target. But you can do this at pretty long range, and you just have to hold it until, you know, someone takes a shot. But again, this can be really useful if you match up with like an engineer, or even just kind of someone in a tow missile, or with a tow, you know, with laser guided missiles. So whether it be, you know, a boat, even a tank with guided shell, or, you know, IFV type thing. So again, that can be really, really useful. Again, this type of stuff gets really good with team play, though there actually are a few cases where you can go on your own, where flames are pretty much things that you put down, and they will, well, you can jump into them and designate stuff. They will also designate things on their own. And there are cases where I have personally not done it, but my friend has done it, where he pretty much will put down a slow flame kind of farther up on the line, sit back in a tow missile, and then whenever the slow flame gets something, you know, missile away. Otherwise, he'll just be sitting around sniping. But again, so that can be really useful. And then there are the little aircraft. So again, you have the two types, which are the MAV, which is pretty much like a little, almost call it like a quadcopter drone type thing that you can sight people with. I think there's even like a little, like a taser or something on it. So I forget what it does. Yeah, now you can like shoot people from it. Like, doesn't do a lot of damage or something like that. But yeah, and then there's the SUAV, which great tool for ramming people with, by the way. Also, in addition to kind of sighting people like the MAV, it can also laze targets, so you can fly it around. And I believe this, unlike the UCAV, has infinite. No, it does have infinite battery life, but it has longer. The MAV, I believe, does have infinite battery life. It's actually incredibly hard to shoot down too, just with by hand. You know, if you run across a mobile AA, they will probably shoot it down just because it's easy pickings. But otherwise, you know, good way to run around and hide with it. Again, yeah. So with that, C4, again, claymores, decoy. Decoys, actually, I would say Recon's the one class where decoys can be very, very useful, because you can pretty much put it nearby. Because people are, you know, they're gonna know where a shot's coming from. They're gonna say, oh, it's from that general direction. And if they, you see on the map, you know, that type of stuff. But if you have a decoy out, you might actually be able to, you know, get away, and actually a great way to lay ambush to people. I've never seen it done, but I'm sure you easily could. Actually, I should try that with my current rifle, just because you can crack off a decent amount of rounds. Again, with grenades, I would say, again, kind of use what you want. Now, sniper is the one where smoke can be useful just to get away. I only say that because it has saved my life a few times. I was trying it out, and I just kind of chucked it down when a tank was on me. I ran away, and did that. Now, generally, that would not work because most tank drivers now run thermals. It's pretty much when I get into my next video, which will be land vehicles. You will learn that there are some pretty good builds that you should stick to, and certain things that you will want to use. So again, that's really sniper. Here I'll kind of show you a few things. So MAV, UAV type thing. So you have the SUAV, which again, laser designator active. So let me lay something. Okay. There's a boat that's locked, and then I just kind of hold this, and my friend, imagine missiles going, boom, boat's dead. Again, as I've mentioned previously, you can do it with aircraft. You can laser designate aircraft, and that's probably one of the best ways to kill things like that, is lasing a jet. Boop. The second little thing is the MAV, which make for pretty good scout. Now, granted, we can see all of our targets, but it's a good thermal sight. And against, and you can sight stuff with it. Again, so there, just sight enemies. You have a little tiny thing, but again, good for range finding, that type of stuff. I generally find it to be a pretty. Oh, there's a tow missile. I didn't realize I was looking at that earlier. So I will kind of show you the. I have to give you a sneak preview of kind of the power that is. Power that is, SOFLAM and these enemies. Yeah, these are going to be good. So you see, that is laser designated. That is dead. Should be dead. Fire again. So again, that is very, very powerful. Because imagine that you can do that with more than just rib boats. You can do that with, jets. Again, like if that was lased right now, I would fire a rocket and it would be an instant kill, because anything that's not like an AA rocket, an anti-aircraft based rocket. Oh, wait, no, I'm using my. I forgot to check. So, yes, also should kind of show the weapons. So again, so these targets are, realistically based on damage. So, see, it's 3 shots to kill with it. Some of these have holes in them. But again, I can get pretty good rate of fire with it. It's been very good. Now I'll show you bolt action with straight pull. Make sure we turn on straight pull. Again, straight pull is a very, very useful. That was. I messed up. Again, so you don't have the fire rate of, the weapon earlier, but again, beforehand, what you would have done is longer targets. You will have to reacquire. So you're gonna have to go bang, 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 type of stuff. So again, can be very useful if you riddle off shots better, because again, unless you're getting headshots, it requires 2 shots. So firing once, then having to exit and go out. Also, a lot of times you'll forget because you'll just be wrapped up in the heat of the moment, and then you'll get messed up. Now let's kind of find a little tree. Let's go about a fun thing. So battle pickups are things you'll find all over the map again. This is an anti-air rocket. This is just kind of like a dumbfire, pretty much like a small. But then you have grenade launchers. These things are broken because they shoot frag rounds. You have the AMR, which is pretty much a bolt action. Then you have the Barrett, which is again 50 caliber and it has everything you ever could want. 10-round mags, 50 caliber ammo, rangefinders. But again, so if you see the 0 on the left, so again, if you press V, you can 0 that, and again, this shot will probably go a little high. Yeah. So you see where, oh, we're doing it again. The bullets just kind of fly higher. So again, never really try to adjust. Now, granted, if you're in between, like if your target's like a 150 or something, well, at 150, I would just say use what, you know, use a 100. It's but yeah, that's what rangefinders can be good for. Especially if you're going to be kind of shooting more off the reservation, that can be useful over like a variable zoom or something. A variable zoom, I really like it just because I'll use like an 8x scope, and then you kind of see the general area, and then you can zoom in closer. So again, that is Recon. Thank you for watching. Up next, we'll be doing, you know, land vehicles, and then onto air vehicles, and just kind of doing more tips and tricks. And that I might actually try to use more in-game footage, just because a lot of that you need friends with. But I really wish again they moved the, you know, multi-person test range to back to Battlefield 4. But again, that is all. Thanks for watching.